Good morning. Welcome to the special telephone town hall event featuring AARP Illinois and our esteemed guest, Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias. My name is Ryan Grunenfelder, and I am the Senior Director of Advocacy and Outreach for AARP Illinois, and I will be acting as your moderator today. We are thrilled to have you with us for this important conversation about the bipartisan Road Safety and Fairness Act, currently in the Illinois General Assembly as Senate Bill 91 and House Bill 1226. This Tele-Town hall is your chance to learn, ask questions, and engage in a meaningful dialogue about Illinois' age-based driving tests and promoting fairness on Illinois roads. For today's live Tele-Town town hall with Illinois Secretary of State Giannoulias, we encourage listeners to press *3 on your telephone's keypad to be connected with an AARP Illinois staff member who will note your name and question and place you in a queue to ask that question live. Before we dive into our conversation, I'd like to take a moment to highlight the work of AARP Illinois. AARP, the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan member organization dedicated to empowering Americans 50 and older, plays a vital role in enhancing the lives of millions across the country. With a nationwide presence, AARP is committed to strengthening communities and advocating for the fundamental aspects of life over 100 million Americans aged 50 plus and their families, including 1.7 million Illinois members. Our core pillars include health security, financial stability, and personal fulfillment. It's our honor to advocate for policies and change to benefit our community and improve the quality of life for all as we age. Now, we are honored to be joined by Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias, who will share his insights on how this legislation aims to create a fairer, safer driving experience for all Illinois residents. Alexi Giannoulias is the 38th Secretary of State for Illinois and a dedicated public servant committed to making our roads safer and our state fairer for everyone. His leadership on the Road Safety and Fairness Act underscores his commitment to ensuring that no one faces unnecessary barriers simply because of their age. And before I turn it over to you, Secretary, I just want to remind everyone on the call, if you have a question, please press *3 on your telephone's keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member so you can talk directly with the Secretary. So, Secretary Giannoulias, thank you for being here today. Would you like to offer any introductory remarks?
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you to everyone who made time to be on this Tele-Town hall. And I want to thank our friends at AARP and our allies for hosting this Tele-Town hall to discuss the Road Safety and Fairness Act. This is a measure that will finally align Illinois with every other state that has already taken steps on behalf of their citizens to enhance driving standards and make our roads and highways safer. A little background. Illinois is currently the only state in the nation that requires a behind-the-wheel driving test for seniors based on their age. Let me say that again. Illinois is currently the only state in the nation that requires a behind-the-wheel driving test for seniors based solely on age. Not only would this important legislation make driving standards for our safest drivers more consistent with those of other states, it would also make the system more fair and more just for seniors and the blatant age discrimination that currently exists. Specifically, this legislation would increase the age at which Illinois drivers must take a behind-the-wheel driving test from 79 to 87. We're going to get into the specifics, but I am a big believer in using data to drive decision-making. And in this case, the numbers don't lie. The most recent national crash data from the U.S. Department of Transportation shows that older drivers are safer drivers, actually the safest drivers. The latest statistics from the Illinois Department of Transportation reveal that in 2023, the crash rate for drivers 75 and older is just over 24 per 1,000 drivers. This is lower than every age range of drivers between 16 and 74 years old. This is the safest categories of drivers in the state of Illinois. Also, many senior citizens in Illinois don't have immediate family members available to do the driving for them when they need to run essential errands like doctor's appointments, grocery store runs, or pharmacy pickups. Most drive short distances, and many drive only during the day. It just makes sense. Age should not determine if someone should have a driver's license. Statistics show that age is not a hazard in and of itself, and a birthday is not an accurate gauge of one's ability to get behind the wheel safely. Driving ability and medical health should serve as the determining factors. Before I hand it back off to Ryan or Scott, I just want to thank all of you for your input and your help. I know this is an issue that many of you feel passionately about and have for a long time. I also want to let you know that you have an ally in the Secretary of State's office, and I also want to thank AARP Illinois, especially Philippe and Ryan, who have been great partners in working with us to promote and advocate for this critical legislation. So, sorry for the long remarks, but I think facts matter, and we are excited about the potential to get this bill passed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary. As a reminder, please press *3 on your telephone's keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member so you can talk directly with Secretary Giannoulias. Before we get to our listeners' questions, I have a few to ask. Let's start with some insights into the legislation at hand. Secretary Giannoulias, could you tell us more about the Road Safety and Fairness Act and what it would mean to older drivers in Illinois?
Yeah, great question. So this legislation would increase the age at which Illinois drivers must take a behind-the-wheel driving test from 79 to 87 while establishing first-time ever procedures to allow immediate family members to report unsafe drivers of any age. So under this legislation, drivers aged 79 and 80 will still be required to visit a facility if they need to renew their driver's license and take a vision test, but they would not have to take a driving test. Drivers between the ages of 81 and 86 would still be required to visit a DMV facility to renew their license every 2 years, which is a shorter renewal period than most drivers, which is every 4 years. They would still be required to take a vision test, but again would not have to take a driving test. Drivers aged 87 and older would continue to be required to renew their license annually. These renewals would include a vision test and a driving test. So the law governing this age group would not change. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you. Again, if you would like to ask a question of Secretary Giannoulias, press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member who will note your name and question and place you in a queue to ask that question live. Now, I have another question for you, Secretary Giannoulias. How does the legislation address concerns about driver ability at any age?
Great question also, and you can call me Alexi, that's fine. So currently, unsafe driver reporting is limited to law enforcement, judges, state's attorneys, and doctors. What our data has shown is that Illinois is one of only 5 states that do not allow immediate family members to report concerns about a relative's driving ability. And we feel that because family members have the best line of sight into a person's cognitive state, we think that family reporting is a more reliable metric to determine anyone's driving ability to drive safely than a mandatory road test. Family members would have the ability to file a written report informing the office that their loved one, again, of any age, is not able to safely drive because of a medical condition or a decline in cognitive ability. Based on the information contained in the report, our office may require that driver to undergo a medical evaluation by their physician, including vision, physical, and potentially retesting to retain their license.
Great, thank you, Alexi. I'm going to go ahead and open up. Looks like we have a couple of questions in the queue, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up to one of the questions right now. This is Bernadine from Chicago.
I have two questions.
Sure.
The first question is, why is Illinois still requiring annual tests for people over 79, if every other state isn't?
Well, that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of, and that's why that's exactly what this legislation tries to get rid of. We have not been given a good answer as to why that's the case. That's something that's been troubling for me and for our office, and that's why we're the first Secretary of State's office to try and pass legislation to end that discrimination. So that's a great question, and we have the exact same question, and that's why we need everyone's help so deeply on this bill.
And I've got a second question in regards to, because I am a religious, we have, every year, we get tested out for driving and our ability, for memory purposes and for physical ability as well as vision. And my question is that what I experienced from some of the examiners is they have none of that taking place other than the vision.
I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. Can you? Your question is?
Okay. Why would I have to go for a test with the driver's division when I get tested out every year for driving and also actually our memory or being able to make decisions or know what you're doing as you're driving. So we already do that on an annual basis. And my question
right.
is, okay.
Your question is what? I'm sorry.
Well, why in the devil do I have to go through another whole series of tests just because? And they don't. And some of the drivers, people that do the testing, don't really do any good testing.
Well, that's why we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to create fairness and get rid of the driving requirements. That's the whole purpose of the bill.
Thank you very much, Bernadine, for your question. Alexi, I have another question for you before we take another listener call. How can our listeners get involved? Should they call their legislator? What can be done in order to get this legislation passed?
And this is where we really need everyone's help. So there's this discrimination. There's this stigma that older drivers are not safe drivers, even though, as I told you, the data would prove the opposite. But we need your help. We still have legislators that haven't decided if they're supportive of this bill. I strongly encourage everyone listening to contact their legislators, their state legislators, to voice their support for the Road Safety and Fairness Act. This measure provides relief to seniors while ensuring that our roads are safe. So please encourage your legislators to vote yes on SB 91, so Senate Bill 91 and House Bill HB 1226. So that's SB 91 and HB 1226. Listeners can go to the AARP homepage, which is aarp.org/Illinois, aarp.org/Illinois, and there's info on how to take action. There's a link on there that says email your legislator now. We encourage everyone to email their legislators or any legislators that you know of. The committee hearing is on Wednesday, so we need to get this done ideally before Wednesday. These emails are important. Legislators listen to their constituents' concern, and we really need your support. Otherwise, this bill will not get passed.
Thank you very much, and I thank you for saying that, and I cannot reiterate that even stronger than you did. But AARP does fully support this legislation, and it is a strong step in the right direction to both making the road safer for Illinois drivers and also for allowing older drivers to not be required, at least up to age 87, to take the mandatory test. So thank you for that. I'm going to remind listeners again, if you want to ask a question of the Secretary, please press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member so you can talk directly with the Secretary of State. And now we've got another listener call here from Ellen in Morris. Ellen, are you there?
Yes.
What's your question for Secretary Giannoulias?
I do not have a computer. How do I register or get in touch with my area to get my license renewed?
To get your license renewed, we will. Let me get a phone number for you so that you can call directly. We for the first time ever have created a phone line just for seniors who want to get their license renewed. The dedicated line is 1-800. If you have a pen, Ellen, it's 1-800-252-8980. So 1-800-252-8980. Also, something that we're very proud of. For the first time ever, because we want to take care of our seniors, we have senior-only walk-in facilities that you don't need an appointment. They're in Evanston, Bridgeview, Westchester, and Calumet Park. Those are senior-only facilities. We'll get the exact addresses. We can have someone call you back and get you the addresses, or you can go to the AARP website and we'll put them on there as well. But the phone numbers are probably a good way to do it. They can give you that information on the phone, Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Ellen. And I just want to give a clarification. The AARP website I was notified is aarp.org/IL. So if anybody's looking for all of this information that we're sharing, it will be on that website at aarp.org/IL. And with that, we're going to go to a question from Ryan in Arlington Heights.
Well, thank you for responding. I'm not sure that I'm as familiar with this particular bill, but I have a historical question. Last year, as I became 80 years old, and my girlfriend, who's a couple of years older, had to go to, I think it was Tuscola, to get a driving test. So I went with her, and I thought, well, I'm here. So I got tested at the same time, and I got my license updated. But in the process, she said, do you have a motorcycle with you? And I said, no. And not having one there made me lose my M rating on the license. And I'm wondering and it's awkward. How do you get to I can't ride my scooter to the license bureau because I don't have a license now, which I could have done back at the time, but I hadn't given that any thought. Is there any way that this new bill would be a retro bill so that I could go back to riding my scooter again without the complications of getting it and me to the driver's license place at the same time?
Yeah, that's a good question. We could look into that. Let us work on that, and we'll get back to you on that.
I sure appreciate
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought it up.
You got my vote.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Ryan. The next question we have is from Veronica in Marion. Veronica, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. I'm with regard to the relative or doctor reporting a concern for a driver. Does that trigger a visit from DMV or police, or does this reevaluation just occur when the license would be renewed? When they would
great question. If we get credible reporting, we would then look into it, and it would not be it doesn't have to be at the time that the license renewed. So we would take a look, we would have a conversation, and we have a process in place through our medical review board that would analyze that. So based on the
I'm sorry. So the driver gets contacted by the state.
Yeah. So based on the information contained in the report, our office may require the driver, based on the information, to undergo a medical evaluation, looking at vision, physical, and mental, or to undergo retesting.
And so this could occur then anytime in between normal testing or normal renewal periods. As soon as you get the information, and then that's when that would trigger a investigation or a look at. Okay.
Yeah, we don't say investigation.
Right. I mean, that sounds too harsh. I know, but you know, go forward with the inquiry, or just double check and make sure everything is, if it's needed. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Veronica. A reminder, if you have a question for the Secretary, you can press *3 on your telephone's keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member so you can talk directly with the Secretary. With that, we're going to we have a question from Judy in Collinsville. Judy, are you there?
Yes, I am. And I just wanted to clarify for myself that currently in the state of Illinois, a family member cannot have any right or responsibility about sharing their thoughts about the driving ability of an older person, and that the new bill will include, along with doctors and medical police personnel, that a family member can provide some kind of an affidavit or letter or something to the DMV.
Correct. And the important point to note on that piece is this is regardless of age. So if I have, a 35-year-old sister or a 32-year-old brother, and they have narcolepsy and they're falling asleep at the wheel, but no one's ever reported it, this allows us to have a mechanism for a family member to report this instance. Or if there are other issues, regardless of age, it could be someone in their 20s or 30s or 40s, it allows us to take a deeper look. We're one of only 4 states in the country that doesn't have the option of family reporting requirements.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for adding that other piece about age not being a factor.
Well, thank you for saying that. And again, we're basing this on data, not on ageism, which we're seeing more and more of, unfortunately.
Thank you very much, Judy. Our next question is from Linda in Chicago Heights. Linda,
Hi.
Are you there?
Hi. My question is kind of adding on to the previous two. With the two, they sound like two separate bills, basically, to extend the age for the seniors, but in reporting any age, they sound like they should be two separate bills because they're basically different. And to have someone any age go into a system, anytime that happens, that could be a really slippery slope. And it's a completely different issue than allowing seniors to have fairness and not have to go more often. Because people going through divorce, people having anger issues, and they oftentimes that leads to a lot more problems when we have a reporting system. And getting into the medical field, then that's a whole nother challenge. So I just wondered why, even with all sorts of bills, they do this. They tack two separate issues. They need to separate issues and then vote on each one. that's just an opinion, basically.
So I appreciate your opinion. I understand what you're saying. Here's the reality of politics in Springfield, not in our office, but in Springfield. If this family reporting requirement is not part of this bill, the bill will die. It will not even make it out of committee. It won't even get to a vote. So without that family requirement in the same bill, in other words, if we try to bill just to increase the age, there's a 0% chance of it passing, which has been the case for a number of years. Almost every year, someone tries to call this bill, and it never makes it out of committee. The Secretary of State's office has always been against increasing the age requirement. This is the first time we've ever not only been in favor and want to be helpful in getting this done, we are actually the ones that created and crafted this bill. So if that family reporting requirement's not in there, this bill has a 0% chance and will never pass.
Is that just like a polarity issue in Springfield between two parties?
It's not a party. It's not a party issue. It's an ageism issue.
I understand that. I mean, the voting of it that you say.
No, it's bipartisan. It would be killed by both Democrats and Republicans.
Oh, both. Oh, okay. I just wondered.
And with this bill, we have worked really, really hard. It's been a priority since we took office to get both Democrat and Republican support, which we have. Without the requirement, the family contact, there's no way it'll.
Gee. Okay, well, that was my question, so I understand. Okay. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Thank you very much, Linda.
Bye.
Okay, our next question is from Dolores in Hoffman Estates. Dolores, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Thank you for taking the call. When would this bill take effect?
It would take effect in next year, 2026, on July. I think it's July 1.
Okay, so sounds like I'll have to take a driver's test this year. Okay, I just wanted to.
Yeah, it's even if we pass it, which is going to be, it's not going to be easy. There's no guarantee that this passes. Without AARP's help and you guys reaching out to your legislators, it for sure won't pass. But even then, in order to implement, it won't be ready to get implemented before July of next year.
I wasn't sure if it would be immediately or a leg. Thank you so much for addressing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your question.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Dolores. We have a couple more questions in the queue here. We're going to go to, looks like Joseph in Freeport. Joseph, are you on the line?
Yes. Do we have to take a written test anymore?
Yes. So the written requirement would not change. This legislation would impact the driving portion.
Well, I've renewed mine, and I've never been asked to take a written test, but I just wonder somewhere along the line if I will be asked.
So let me re-answer that because maybe I was incorrect. Okay. A vision test is required. A written test is only required if a driving violation exists. So I apologize for the confusion.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, well, just for a routine test, it's usually the driving and eyesight.
No, the written is only if you've had a driving violation.
Okay, all right. Well, that settles my mind. Thank you very much.
You sound like a safe driver to me.
Well, I am. Always have. I've driven. I've had CDLs, and I'll be here, and I just kind of wondered what to look forward to. So, all right. Well, thank you, Secretary.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much, Joseph. We have a question here from Lottie in Naperville.
Sure.
Lottie, are you on the line?
Yes,
What
I
is your
am.
question? What is your question for the Secretary?
I want to know where how do I get my handicap sticker? I have had it all these years, and then this past year they sent me a paper to fill out. I filled it out and took it to my doctor, and he filled his out. And somehow it must have got messed up in the mail because I haven't received it yet, and I just turned 94 Tuesday. So
well,
I don't.
if we'll get your information, we'll look into it for you. You should have gotten it. We'll look into make sure you get it as quickly as possible. And happy birthday!
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lottie. We have a question here from Carol in Mount Prospect. Carol, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Hi. What is your question for the Secretary?
Yes. On this new legislation that changes the age from 79 to 87, does this still require someone to come to the DMV every year, or is it every 2 years?
It's every 2 years for anyone between 79 and 86. So after 87, they'd still need to renew their license annually.
Okay, and why is that? Why did you pick 87? There are a lot of seniors who are on top of things in their 90s, and I don't believe that is a good criteria. Also, I believe that if everyone else goes once every 4 years, the seniors at any age should not be penalized to go every 2 years or every 1 year.
So I happen to agree with you, but we also have to get this legislation passed. Don't forget, every single year this has come up, this legislation has been defeated. For decades, Illinois drivers at age 87 or older have been required to renew in person every year and take a driving and written test, as opposed to 79 to 86. So we're not. That's not a number that we came up with. We're just trying to get this bill passed, and it will not get passed, regardless of the fact that you and I agree. It will not get passed. There's already hesitation and trepidation in Springfield on this. It's already going to be an uphill battle, and we're doing everything we can to pass this bill.
Thank you very much, Carol, for your question. We have time for one more question, and then we need to go to closing remarks. So I'm going to open it up to June in Chicago.
Hi.
June, are you there? Hi.
Yes, I'm here. I'm 82 years old. I just repeated my test and passed my eye and road test. I don't have to take the written test, but I get a book to be updated on the rules, especially with these new bike lanes. But my question is, I have the placard for my window, and I've been to the board of your place where you get the license several times, and they refuse to give me the discount on my plates because the car is not in my name. Now, I take the responsibility of buying I live in Chicago, the sticker and the plates, but my daughter keeps, and I have a deposition from the insurance company saying that I drive the car. I've been driving it for so many years, and I'm the person that takes care of that. But she pays the insurance and take care of all the other responsibilities, so she keep it in her name. She takes the responsibilities of a lot of my stuff. Why do I have to have it in my name in order to get the discount? I pay $150 for my plate when other seniors pay $30 and under for the same plate. That $150 is a hardship when I'm the sole driver of this car. Is there any form other than the form the doctor and the insurance company gave me to give them that would eliminate me paying the $150. I know there's scammers and everything, and they're trying to not have that happen, but there should be some other form that can be notarized to keep me from paying the $150.
So right now, that's a great question. That's the law as it is. Let us look into it and see if there's something that we can remedy there. I'm sorry that you have to go through that. That's the law, that's the statute, but I'm happy to take a look and see if there's a way to remedy that. You bring up a very good point.
So how do I follow up on this?
We'll get if there's a way we can get your information, we can reach out to you.
Okay. Do I hold on or just *3 to go back to AARP?
This is Ryan. We have your information, and we could reach back out to you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, June. So it does look like we are running out of time for today, and I thank you so much for all of the questions. We apologize if we were not able to get to your question. But as we conclude, we want to express our gratitude to Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias for joining us today and providing valuable insights into the Road Safety and Fairness Act. Again, your involvement is crucial, and the way that we get this important piece of legislation passed is by you calling your legislator and telling them to pass Senate Bill 91 for your state senator, or if you call your state representative, House Bill 1226. Secretary, could you offer some closing remarks and please give any telephone numbers that folks should call to make an appointment with the DMV or utilize any of the other services that your office provides?
Yes, again, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank this entire community. I want to thank AARP for being allies. This, as I mentioned a few times, this bill comes up every year. It's never, ever passed. We finally have a Secretary of State that not only is supporting it, but that has created and crafted this bill. We think it's important. I do worry that if it gets killed again this year, it will be difficult to bring back to life in the future. The number for seniors, again, we created a senior-only line. It's 1-800-252-8980 and press 2 if you're a senior. I'll read that number one more time. 1-800-252-8980 and press 2 if you're a senior. Again, I want to thank Ryan and the larger AARP Illinois team for providing the opportunity to speak about the Road Safety and Fairness Act today. While this bill raises the age at which Illinoisans are required to take a drive test, the heart of this initiative is really about enhancing safety and fairness. We believe in fairness, and we believe in keeping our roads and highways safe. This legislation will help create a more effective and efficient process for keeping our roads safe and a more just policy for ensuring fairness for our safest drivers, who are our seniors. We need to find ways to work to treat senior drivers fairly while reining in any drivers, regardless of age, who actually pose the biggest threats on our roads. We believe this legislation does it. We believe for the first time ever we have a chance to pass it. Again, I highly, highly encourage and implore everyone listening in this morning to join us in the mission of enhancing driving standards and making Illinois roads safer and helping to get rid of the blatant ageism and age discrimination that we've seen. So please contact your legislators and encourage them to support Senate Bill 91. Again, Senate Bill 91 and House Bill 1226. Senate Bill 91 and House Bill 1226. Last point I'll make, and I've made it several times this morning, currently we are the only state in the United States of America that requires people to take driving tests solely based on our age. That is unfair, it's unjust, and it does nothing to keep our roads safer. So thank you for supporting our bill. Thank you for making time to be with us. I'm honored to be the Secretary of State, and I'm honored to be an ally with AARP on this and so many other measures.
Thank you very much, Secretary Giannoulias, and we AARP Illinois could not agree with you more about this legislation. I just want to remind everyone to, if you would like to learn more about it, you can go to AARP's website at aarp.org AARP.org/IL. And that /IL is very important because it takes you to the AARP Illinois website rather than just the AARP national website. So AARP.org/IL. And on behalf of AARP Illinois, I would like to thank you, Secretary, for participating in today's informative discussion on the Road Safety and Fairness Act and for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and this concludes our call.
Thank you, everybody.